Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get airborne on our Analyze Your Trade. This is a regular member brief, but I've opened up the doors for a couple thousand potentially motivated individuals to join us for our full throttle week. We only have 2 sessions left, folks. We have this Analyze Your Trade session today, and then we'll do a weekly options and debrief tomorrow. We already knocked out our weekly options trade for the week. It was a 1-day gain in Amazon from Monday to Tuesday of $2,010, which more or less just paid for an annual defensive slot for potential new members. So here we need to, so let's go ahead and get airborne. I sent out a text a couple minutes ago. Everybody should have gotten it. I think I sent it out to folks who opted in to full throttle as well, to close the MGM and Brazil, the EWZ bull put spreads that we put on about 2 weeks ago for about $4,500 in gains, guys. This is what a phenomenal, and I was just going back and forth with Rick a little bit here about our performance, folks. This has been an epic couple months here, man, or not couple months, about 3.5 to 4 months. And don't sit here and say, well, it's easy to trade this market's going straight up. You got quote unquote the Wall Street smart money who missed out on this rally too. Not only did they get the whole Trump election wrong and the market rally, they're getting this wrong too, that it's overextended and we're due for a pullback. I don't disagree with the pullback, and we talked about this last night in our training session. We're going to take a look at a hedge and get in long volatility, because all the reporting and phone calls I've had with buddies up in the Northeast, Chuck Schumer's got egg all over his face, and he ain't excited. All right, real quick before we get airborne, I think this is wrong. I think it's only 19 or something. Phone buzzed a couple times, so whoever was waiting got in there. So we only have about 21 of these slots left, folks. Real quick, this came out today, January 25th in Voyage, Miami. They did a nice article on me. So I'll throw this in the chat box if you're really, really bored and you want to read up. Again, if you don't know me by now, this is either your first webinar or you just landed from the other side of Mars. But yeah, when you get a chance, take a look at that. But here's your assets, folks. This is where you need to go and get your track. Go.topgunoptions.com/getft, the defensive, offensive, or max afterburner slots. And you guys, all the potential new members, or actually all the new members, are keeping in line with all of our past launches. About 80 to 85% of the new folks are taking the annual max afterburner, essentially getting everything we do here at TGO. So as I said, if we don't fill all 50 by tomorrow afternoon's debrief at 1 o'clock, I might open up some monthly slots if you're looking to maybe kick the tires for a month to month, but we will stop at 50, folks. Again, there's probably 30 comments right now in the chat box that are driving me nuts because I want to answer everything, but we don't. That's why we limit our size here at TGO. You can't have a live trading room that's a zoo. I've gone and played Secret Shopper at a couple other places that do that, and I don't know, what a waste of money. Whatever. I'm not going to badmouth other people, but it's stupid. So let's go ahead and thanks, Harry. Everybody needs to know. There you go. The whiz. And then here's the replays, guys. I posted the tactic that we talked about last night, the Tredge on VXX, and look at what the VIX and VXX are doing today. So here's the replay page in case you didn't get a chance to attend last night. So there's the replay page. You can pull that up and put it in your browser and just kind of store it for now. So so today, actually, let me pull up my Facebook page. Today, as I briefed you yesterday, is my beautiful princess. It's my daughter Keely Grace's 10th birthday, man. So she's double digits. So there she is right there. A snowy night 10 years ago up in Naperville outside of Chicago. So that's my princess right there. And then I had career day. So same day as her birthday, we had career day. So I just got back from her career day and also lunch where we brought her cupcakes and stuff like that. So this is pretty, so that's pretty cool. So that's my daughter career day, and I'm still in my flight suit, and it's hot as hell down here in Florida. Again, this is fire retardant. So that's, yeah. So, all right. Any other admin stuff we got to cover? Because I'm so excited with everything that's going on here at TGO. Everybody should have gotten the text alerts. We're going to talk about our JP Morgan bull put spread in this portfolio from last week. This thing's already up $1,000 in a week. Again, folks, I mean, men lie, numbers don't. The only miss I've had in the past month or two was the the Amazon weekly trade last week. But like CP said, where's CP? CP, I'm gonna show everybody your quote here, man. because that was funny. Where there it is right here. Everybody take a look at what my buddy CP last week, or no, was it beginning of this week? I bitched about the Amazon loss last week, so now what I want to apologize and say attaboy about the Brazil and MGM spreads. Many thanks. You got it, CP. That's why I'm here. But again, folks, losing trades happen. That Amazon. So we saw that Amazon do a little bit of that head fake last week. Let me show you. And of course, it head faked when I'm going to put on a bull put spread there. So let's just pull up Amazon real quick. So again, losing trades happen, guys. I don't want to sit here this week. I actually enjoy full throttle weeks when I have a losing trade, so people know that there's reality. So Amazon did this little head fake last week, and I said nope. So we put on a bull put spread on Monday in our weekly options brief, and that made $2,000 by Tuesday, and I recommended to get out of it. And the thing hasn't looked back. If you're still in that trade, you made it expires tomorrow. You're looking at a max profit of $2,300 this week. It's awesome. So really very happy with our trades. But so we're done with all our administrative stuff. There's the get your slot. There's the replay page. What else is going on here? Okay, this is all our positions. All right, let's brief. U.S. sanctions. So over there in Davos, all the beautiful people and the limousine liberals, Trump showing up. He walked in like a boss today, man. It was awesome to see his arrival in Davos and see Theresa May kind of groveling. He had a great meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu. I really don't understand how in the United States, folks, especially down here in South Florida, I mean, just the Jewish people are steadfastly Democrat. I'm like, look at what Barack Hussein Obama did, the head of the Democratic Party for the past 8 years with the Iran deal. He was so anti-Israel. Do you guys know that, again, the liberal media didn't cover this, but during the head of the Quds Force, which our government has labeled them a terrorist entity. The Israelis were going to kill this dude. I forget, General Qasim or whatever his name is. The Israelis had him. I think he was in Syria, and they're like, dude, we're going to kill this dude. The Obama administration tipped off the Iranians, and the guy got away. So I'll never understand why the Jewish people vote Democrat in bloc, because the only party that cares about them are the Republicans, man. We care about a free country in the Middle East, not a bunch of other kingdoms. So China, we talked about this, the saber rattling. I get it. North Korea is gonna, we're marching together. Did everybody see Lester Holt? What a jackass! That NBC reporter reporting from the ski slope in North Korea. They sent him home. He came home early because of the backlash on social media. What a mental midget. We've been treated with nothing but respect by the North Koreans. What a great, happy visit in a happy town. All of it was staged. All these people are wearing like the same damn coats. It was so Senator Jeff Flake was on the floor last week talking about Trump, and he's like Stalin with his media. Actually, Senator Flake, Lester Holt is like Stalin. He went over to North Korea, kissed their ass, and then wanted us to swallow that North Korea is just some great, look at this ski area. There's 15 to 20 million people starving in North Korea. Lester Holt, what an embarrassment. Anyway, so Mario Draghi over in Europe today kept rates unched, but look at this. These guys are drafting behind us. So Mario Draghi is kind of Ben Bernanke right now, or Janet Yellen. They did their own quantitative easing, right? And they're talking about tapering, right? Like we did, getting rid of that punch bowl. But yeah, we want to taper, but we actually might increase QE, size and duration. So you want to talk, here's a politician talking, or a central banker. We're going to start to taper, we're going to start saying last call, but we also might not say last call and give everybody free booze in, the market trunks. So again, I don't trade Europe. It's 17, or what is it? The Eurozone's like 17 or 21 or 22, just independent countries. I don't care if they say they're all union. They're not. But Mario Draghi, a couple years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, whatever he said, sometimes we'd see a tsunami cross the Atlantic, or he'd move our markets. But I think those days are over with. I just wanted to brief you on what happened with the ECB today. Mnuchin, yesterday he caused a little bit of a panic in the dollar, and the dude said the truth. Here's what's funny is I'm not sure, well, first of all, voters in this country, and I'm not sure like people around the world are used to people running our country say, Treasury Secretary says comments on dollar were balanced and consistent. I heard his interview. He's like, I didn't say anything yesterday that ain't the truth, and it is what it is. So he's awesome. He's got the personality of a doorknob. I get it, but again, that's who you want as your Treasury Secretary. One of these, booger eaters. Real quick, my sister who worked with him at Dune Capital, they were partners together. Steve Mnuchin was. You ready for this? The guy's a quadrillionaire. He used to keep the keys to the supply closet. My sister's like, if you wanted to get a pen or a new pad of paper, you had to go. This guy's worth $1 quadrillion. He's the one that kept the key for the supply closet. If you wanted a new pad of paper, you more or less had to go to him and explain yourself why. So I'll leave it at that. So the dollar steadied after yesterday's Mnuchin truth serum. We talked about this last night that during yesterday afternoon's accelerated retirement session at 1 o'clock, I talked about what? These are the I didn't say 5 things. I said these are the things that are potential black swan events or that can pull this market back. We got every one of these. 2, 3, 4 hours later, Zero Hedge comes out with an article, or actually it's Data Trek, Nicholas Colas. Here's a trade war. I've been briefing you on that all week. We talked about that. Unexpected. This is 5 things that could cause the market to crash. So I briefed you on the trade war this week. I briefed you on what? Obviously, a large-scale military action outside the Middle East. I briefed you that Iran and Saudi Arabia, the Houthi rebels in Yemen are launching ballistic missiles into Riyadh and at palaces. So that's inside the Middle East. And obviously, we know North Korea. A generic pullback. 5 to 10% pullback in U.S. stocks. That could happen, guys. And then inflation. I talked about how the Fed's going to be raising interest rates this year, maybe 3 or 4 interest rate increases. And remember, you guys have written down this wizism. When interest rates are high, stocks will die. When interest rates are low, stocks will grow. And then finally, oil. I've briefed you on oil, maybe $60 or whispers of $80 oil. This week, WTI tops 65 for the first time since 3 years, man. That's just awesome. Sure, I'll give you the link to this article. And again, folks, when you sign up, I'm going to show you where I gather all of my intelligence, man, to come up with this stuff. I'm going to teach you how to fish. Not just throw you fish. I'm going to teach you how to fish. So there's in the chat box is the link to this article. Okay, this is why we're going to look at getting long volatility today. Countdown to shutdown 2. White House takes reins as Schumer balks in race against a new deadline. Here we go, guys. I briefed you on this last night in our sample full throttle training. Not only am I probably a 1 delta, I'm probably 100% that the Democrats are going to shut the government down in a couple weeks, and I think it's going to be protracted. We got Trump saying no wall, no DACA, or no DACA without a wall, and then Schumer saying the exact opposite. I mean, we laughed last night because what happened? Chuck Schumer's house got overran with illegal immigrants that were protesting. I guess maybe Chuck Schumer needs a wall around his house, but I digress. So this is what's going to maybe give us a little bit of a February pause. Remember, I said February sucks anyway. Football's over. The Eagles won the Super Bowl. So maybe we'll be partying for February. February is one of the most volatile. February and October, except this one, are usually the most volatile months in the market. So this could be a good excuse to more or less say, all right, we need a good 5 to 10. Let's take some chips off the table. It kind of looks like we're getting hypoxic up here anyway. We're getting to the summit of Mount Everest here, and we're all running out of oxygen. I get it, but again, the fundamentals, and I love watching the talking heads on Fox or Bloomberg or Comedy Central here, CNBC. Just the talking heads, they're beside themselves. They can't believe this. I can. We predicted this, man. Look at what Home Depot did today. There's another company. So the 200 or 300 companies that are giving their employees more money, they're buying Starbucks yesterday, begrudgingly said, oh, yeah, $250 million of reinvestment in our employees, hiring new people. And of course, I'll get in a Twitter fight with a bunch of idiot liberals who go, but Walmart's closing a couple stores. I'm like, are you mental? So out of the 300 companies in this country that are going bananas for this tax reform, you're going to stick with the Walmart's closing some Sam's Clubs or whatever it is. It shows you how they will never root for this country or this guy to succeed. You just can't make it up. Even Lloyd Blankfein, my infamous, I can't stand that CEO now, Lloyd Blankfein, he at Davos yesterday, his interview was, there's no way in hell this market would be up here if Hillary Clinton was in office. That was a shocking admission from him. So that was pretty cool. All right, let's how about this? Let me get a hell yeah if you're in our we'll talk about our EWZ trades. What did I say Tuesday, folks? If you were in the primary live trade brief, I nailed this. I said, hey man, so this is one of our Captain Kirk trades. One of our emerging market trades is Brazil. We're looking at about in the past, and again, let me give you the history of our Brazil trade. First of all, I've been trading this for years. The World Cup, we traded it like you read about. The Olympics, we traded it like you read about. You buy it going into these events and sell it going out. And then what happened? Oh my God, President Temer's on tape with some of Wiz's former buddies from JBS. We're up another 3% today. So we got into EWZ right here. And our members are looking at 300, 400, 500% gains just in the Jan 20 long call diagonal. Never mind the fact that we put on a bunch of front month spreads. So let me get tactical real quick. If you're in, so here's this is 2 weeks ago, right? So we put on, so again, folks, here's your portfolio review. We put on an EWZ. This is out to February 9th. This trade has 2 weeks to work, folks. The 41.5, 41. Hey, this looks familiar, Wiz. You've been pounding this into my head. Risking about $5,000, and look at this. This trades up to, it's almost like the Amazon trade, $2,010. There is no way on God's green earth that you should sit here for the next 2 weeks and say, I want to collect the other $250. That's stupid. 2 weeks, what could happen in 2 weeks? The Brazilian Supreme Court comes out and says that lower court's wrong and Lula isn't going to jail. And then the Bovespa implodes. So I sent out a text alert to you guys. Close this one. Good. I'm getting a lot of hell yes on there. So good. I'm very happy. If you're in, so look at this, the 41.5, the 41.5 rate. Look at this. It's all. I put it right here at the support resistance line, and then we've had in 2 or 3 of my portfolios, we have some EWZ. So get out of the EWZ right now, as Brian says in the chat box. Hey man, it's going to free up capital for me to deploy into other potential trades. That's exactly the right answer, folks. So don't sit here again. Don't turn a 70, 80, 90% winning credit spread into a 100% loser. I'm telling you, man, Murphy's Law says you sit here and try and squeeze out an extra $250, and then I'm telling you, on February 8th, the day before expiration, the Brazilian Supreme Court comes out and does something shocking and reverses the lower court. And you turn a 90% winning trade into a 100% loser for $5,000. Don't do it. I've done it. That's when I was an AM. Now I'm a pro-am, right? Pro-amateur. Don't do it. Okay, so lessons learned. So this is awesome. Christine, the answer is no. Dan took EWZ 85% profit yesterday. So Christine, the answer is no. It is not too late to get into a Jan 20 on Brazil. The answer is yes. Whether it's FXI or those are the two kind of countries I trade because I know a lot about them. Look at our FXI trade, man. Holy shnikes. Was in it. October, I bailed out because a lot of people who I respect and have stars on their shoulders said, Wiz, we're terrified. And if we're worried, you should be terrified. And then nothing happened. So FXI, so Christine, it's a yes to Jan 20s on EWZ and FXI. If you're, I'm not going to say if you're capital constrained. I'm in both of them, and I like both of those. So I'll leave it at that. And again, folks, remember, if you don't know what the hell's a long call diagonal or synthetic stock, remember, when you sign up, we're going to do full throttle training, and I'm going to spend an hour to 2 hours going through a diagonal and synthetic stock. Okay, so if you're sitting here going, man, I have no idea what this dude's talking about, that's why you need to sign up for full throttle. Okay, what else did I have strategically? So again, this is how I brief, man. You're getting the eavesdrop on a real brief. It's SOT, strategic, operational, tactical. We get tactical and trade after we do our strategic brief. China, Mario over in Europe, Mnuchin in Davos. I guess I could have put the Brazilian thing over here to be strategic. And that's about it at the strategic. The operational level, folks, this thing's stinking to high heaven. I'm really sick of the Republicans. I'm not a Republican, guys. I'm a libertarian. Get out. I'll throw enough money in the till to take care of the Navy and the interstate highway system. Other than that, leave me the hell alone, and that's enough. So the Republicans are playing touch football, man. This is odd that all these text messages mysteriously are deleting. It's weird that they have a secret society. It's weird that this couple agents are threatening physical force against the president. We should look into this. They're mentally retarded. It makes me furious, folks. It makes me absolutely furious that this is, that Republicans aren't foaming at the mouth. If the tables were reversed, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, people would be storming the White House right now with their pitchforks and their torches. But, since it's the other way around, we're going to say, well, let's look into this. I'm full-throated on Twitter ripping Republicans apart. Like, are you kidding me? This is the biggest 18 minutes of Nixon tapes is nothing compared to the fact that our G-men, the last bastion of supposed, besides the military, of good men and women in this country. Now, obviously, the field agents, great people. But these pieces of shit at the top, dirty cops, they never thought they'd get caught. They were sure Hillary was going to win. And then when Trump won, this jerk on the right's like, well, let's meet off site. Remember to bring your other phone so we can't be tracked with our messages. And Republicans are going to sit there and go, this is weird. They're awful. The Republicans are idiots. Operationally, we covered some of this stuff already. Starbucks is giving money back. Home Depot's giving money back. Wall Street strategists can't keep up with the stock market. That's because they're stupid. That's because they believe their own hype. That's because they believe last year, Citi, Goldman, JP Morgan, all these guys saying there's no way Trump wins, and if he does, we all die. That didn't happen. We got bullish as hell before the election. We traded volatility into it. So Wall Street strategists can't keep up because they suck. That's why they're strategists, right? Well, I covered all this throughout the week. I want to more or less get into the portfolios and start digging here. All right, so in addition to closing the Brazil trade 2 weeks ago, we put we put an MGM bull put spread on the 34.5, 34. Okay, again, hey, this looks pretty familiar, Wiz. You're risking around $5,000 to potentially make $2,500. So, and Virginia, I saw your question earlier about. So this is me, folks, on a notional $100,000 model portfolio. My rule of thumb is this, man. My SOP, my standard operating procedures. I don't want to risk more than 5% on any one trade. Why? Where'd you come up with that, Wiz? 25 years of doing this. You might be 1%, you might be 1,000%. I don't know, and that's not for me to say. As the pilot in command of my portfolios, if I take a max loss on this trade because MGM, I don't know, there's more shooters or whatever happens horrifically and MGM implodes, I still got $95,000 left in my portfolio. I'm not going to get wiped out. It's a big enough hit where I go, wow, that sucks. But again, we talked about adjust and eject levels in our trades. I'm going to cover those two levels thoroughly in Full Throttle Training about when we would potentially adjust a spread if it's going against us and when we'd eject out of it. But look at this, the 34.5, 34 in MGM. We put this on 2 weeks ago. Let's pull up MGM right here. The 30, it's all the way down here, man. Oops, sorry. 34.5, 34. All the way down here, folks. This was 2 weeks ago, man. I said MGM's on it. Remember, that's way too many lines. Remember your wisdoms that you're learning this week. If this is a tear, when a stock or an ETF is on a tear, either join it, bullish double vertical like we talked about last night, or bull put spreads, bull call spreads, or both with the double vertical, or get out of the way. And I know somebody asked about, selling front months, upside calls. I'll teach you all this stuff in your Full Throttle Training as well. When something's on a tear, just sit there with your synthetic stock and long call diagonal and cross your arms, put your boots up on the table and enjoy your coffee and go, I am printing money. When the stock levels out like this, hey, good run, and we're trading sideways. Oh yeah, man, sell some at the money front month upside calls to bring in a little bank. This is why you're an options trader. Your buddy who buys MGM shares for 2 months as it wallowed here didn't make a nickel. You can be at your cocktail party tonight going, yeah, that sucks for you. I made, X, Y, and Z in the past couple months on MGM. You're a liar. You're a witch. The stock moves sideways. Well, I sold some front month upside calls against my position, and I brought in a couple grand each month. Suck on that, Kurt. So if stock is very bullish, why not call versus a vertical? I very, 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 very rarely, guys, am I a straight call buyer of anything. That ain't me, man. I'll tell you what, even with the old standing around the water cooler, hey, I heard that Apple might buy Twitter. I think my success rate, Wally, in my career in 25 years of doing this has got to be like 25% on that, meaning just being a straight call buyer. Wally, I'm cheap, man. Why just be a straight call buyer when you can sell something else and have somebody else either completely pay for it, at least chip in for it? So I get it. John and Pete Najarian, I know really well. They follow unusual options activity. I got to be honest with you, folks, and this is a discussion over a beer or maybe during full throttle. There's a lot of options trades today and flow that trading's combat, guys. I promised by tomorrow you'd say this with me. Trust me, when I was at Peak 6 in Chicago, well, let's say if I was at Brand X, maybe we would do some massive options positions to hide what we were doing or to force somebody else to do something. Folks, trading is combat. Giles says spread will outperform a straight up long call and put any day. Well said, Giles. So, Tiffany, I don't disagree. Doing a spread caps your earnings out, folks. That's why it's a spread. Whatever part you sell, that's where your profits are capped out. If you really, really, really believe in something, though, Tiffany, to your point, then do a bullish double vertical. Don't ever be just a straight call buyer. A straight call buyer that I've been in my life, and well, let me make an exception. I did this last night, didn't I? This is the exception. I covered it last night, and look, the VIX is up a little bit more today. I said I'd be a straight buyer of VIX calls. I rarely do this. Rarely, I just pounded everybody in the dirt for just being a straight buyer of callers, and I'm going to tell you, do as I say, not as I do, right? No, this is the exception. If you didn't follow what I did last night with the bullish double vertical on VXX, this is like the caveman route to go to hedge volatility. Buy some deep in the money, 80 delta calls. Out the Fed, man. I'm telling you, the government's going to shut down. I'm telling you, Chuck Schumer's going to be crying Chuck Schumer. It's going to get ugly. So maybe just be a straight call buyer in that. Wally, watch the replay from last night. Why a bullish double vertical on VXX and not VIX? You're trading futures on VIX, folks. Remember, it'll be an 8-hour lecture on the VIX, folks. The closest proxy to trade volatility is VXX, but the VIX, the spot VIX, folks, it's actually futures. It's S&P 500 futures, 30 days out, looking at calls and puts. Man, it's not what you think. They were who we thought they were. It's not what you think it is. Okay, so all right. Sorry, I'm rambling here. MGM. So I would close the MGM and the Brazil bull put spreads from 2 weeks ago for a $4,500 profit in 2 weeks. Let me get a hell yeah. I got to be honest with you. If you're on the fence and you haven't gotten after I told you I had a crappy Amazon weekly options trade last week. Other than that, man, we are a greater than 90% win rate in the past 3.5 going on 4 months here. This is stupid. And I don't see, the only way I see this market kind of taking a pause is with a government shutdown and Chuck Schumer over DACA. So guys, I just showed you 2 trades that we put on 2 weeks ago that I just sent out a text alert to close for $4,500 in profit. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, $4,500 is not $29.95. So with one Amazon trade this week, in a day, I paid for this. With a couple EWZs and the JP Morgan trade we put on this week, I paid for this. And obviously, I just showed you with the MGM and Brazil trade. I've more or less. So, folks, this is. I really don't know if you haven't signed up yet what you're waiting for. Okay. And Brian, it's a good point, man. A pause. With our spreads on. Remember, folks, you've written this down. Unched on the day equals time decay. This is why I love being a seller of spreads, right? You want to be the car dealer, man. When that dude pulls out in his midlife crisis, that Ferrari he just bought from you for 250 grand is now worth about 220. If he does a U-turn and comes back in and says, hey man, my significant other called, my midlife crisis is over, can you buy this car back, Wiz? I'll be nice and say, yeah, for 220 grand. I just bought it for 250. Yep, it's called data. Okay. So, close. So I sent out everybody. I think I sent it out to people who opted in for this week too, just to show you that, hey man. All right, so let's debrief our trade from last week. We have a JP Morgan 111 110 bull put spread. So let me pull this up. And again, this is the member pages, guys. I'm letting you eavesdrop if you're a potential new member. This is what we did last week in our analyze your trade session last Thursday. The 111 110 bull put spread. Let's scroll down and say, hey, this is a little north of the $5,000, obviously. But it was a very high probability trade. It's up 60% right now in a week. This is up $1,000 right now. So here's $1,000 in your pocket if you were here last week on JP Morgan. Let's bring up this is my gold medalist, man. So where was last week? Right there. So we put on a bull put spread, the 111 right here at this little ledge, the 111 110, man, and this hasn't looked back. So you could hold this. I'd hold. I think next week. I haven't seen any in my research. I was looking around for JP Morgan. Here's why I'm very, very Diamond Warrens on JP Morgan. Brexit Exodus. Here's why I put on this bull put spread last week, folks. Right here at 111. They had good earnings. Well, no, they didn't. They had awful earnings. But they were good in the sense that they pulled forward a lot of impact from the great tax deal. Jamie Dimon said, hey, these earnings suck, but 2018 we're going to print money. That's why, and I predicted that, guys. Watch the replay from last week when you joined. I said, folks, this is going to be before earnings. Again, I don't do earnings trades, but I nailed this one. I said, hey, Jamie Dimon and these guys are going to have a crappy quarter, but he's going to say they're going to print money in 2018. Paraphrasing, but the guy came pretty damn close. So we put on that bull put spread. If you like making $1,000, how many of you wouldn't have mind to making $1,000 in 1 week? One trade on JP Morgan, $1,000. Okay. William, please state gains in percent rather than absolute clients and best difference amount. Bill, I think I'm going in between those. Right now, this trade I just said, Bill, this trade's up 60% in a week. $1,000. So it's up 60% or $1,000 based on me. And again, Bill, I can't. You said people trade different contract sizes. That's none of my business, Bill. Whether you do this JP Morgan spread or not, or if you do 100 contracts or one, or your paper, that's none of my business, Bill. So you're getting the eavesdrop on what I'm doing. Okay. So if last week Wiz put on this trade with 100 or 75 contracts, Bill, I will speak in percentage and dollar amounts because this is my trade. There's literally hundreds of members in my services and they all trade different. So, Mila, let me save that to the end. Okay. Let me, I want to get on, our analyze your trade and debrief sessions are an hour every, Thursday. So I want to stay on a timeline here. I want to look at some potential new trades. So, over to you guys, pilot and command decision. If you like making $1,000, 60% in a week, maybe you close the JP Morgan and deploy your capital somewhere else. If you want to I don't think there's too many threats to this trade. Here's what I was mumbling around was one of the reasons I got bullish last week is I think that even though it sucks for them to do it, they hate doing it, like a Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley have to come out and upgrade JP Morgan. It's comical to see after bank earnings, a JP Morgan downgrade a Goldman Sachs. They're all in the same, 1 mile radius, guys. And it's funny to see them shoot across each other's bows. But I put on this bull put spread last week because I'm convinced that over this week, the coming weeks, you're going to get, Jeffrey Gunlock from Double Line Capital. I'm a JP Morgan lover, and you're going to see a lot more upgrades. So that's why we put on this bull put spread. So the reason I'm rambling about this is if you want it, you know what, Wiz? You said if there's a 7, 8, or 9 profit on a credit spread, 70, 80, 90%, I should probably scratch the back of my neck and go, you know what, I'm going to, pigs get slaughtered, I'm going to get out of it. Since it's only a 6, whatever it is, 62% in a week, I'd probably hang out in it. So I wouldn't close. I'm not closing a JP Morgan yet. Does that make sense, Brian? That spread is up 65%. Thanks, Brian. I was looking at mine before we got on here. It was 62%. Oh yeah, Kevin, we'll get the Raytheon, man. That's on my list. Trust me. Well, do we have any other existing positions that I needed to talk through? What do you want to know about the JP Morgan synthetic stock trade? Whoever asked that. Oh, you know what? Let's talk GE, because this trade is this is like a month old. So folks, got kicked in the gut. So we did synthetic stock. We did the 17 synthetic stock right around here. And then Wiz looked like a genius. Why? Because for the next 2 weeks, everybody and their mother said with infrastructure spending, and it's going to be GE's 2018. Everybody remember this? We were printing money on the synthetic stock trade with GE. And then what happened? Holy crap. We didn't even know. The Wall Street Journal, folks, if they didn't know, there's no way in hell Wiz didn't know, is what? They still have GE Capital flying around there. And now they're talking about breaking up GE. So this is a hold, guys. I have no problems with this GE trade. It might be a little underwater right now. It's the victim of a short-term mindset. It is worth so much more broken up. And like I said, right now it's trading below book value. This looks like a little bit of a dead cat bounce. So whoever just asked me, can we start selling the front month? Because right here, when it started to get on a little bit of a tear, I said, nope, let's enjoy it. And now it implodes. That's the definition, folks, of a dead cat bounce. You ready? And if you're a cat lover, don't send me any. This is the Wall Street term. Implode. How high does a dead cat bounce? About that high. This ain't bullish, folks. So if you want to sell some front month upside calls in GE, it's a great idea. I'd go out. Hell, I'd go out, since I think February is going to be volatile anyway. I'd go out a month. And what are the 17? So listen to me. If you're in GE, right here, I do the 17s out to February 23rd, and I would sell them for right in the middle there, 24 cents, 25 cents. So yes, whoever said, hey Wiz, should we start selling front month upside calls? The answer is yes. If you don't know what that means, sign up and become a member and never look back. Dan, if you're not in this one, remember, folks, I put 2 of these on, okay? Because, here's a Wizism. If you loved it at 18, you're going to really love it at 16. Is this catching a falling knife? I don't know. We have to see if this 16 level, you know what? Let's talk about this next week. I need to hang out. I'm still reading a bunch of stuff. The SEC came out yesterday and said, hey, we're looking into GE's accounting practices. That's the kiss of death, man. I was shocked that the stock didn't go down even more on that. So that tells me GE might be getting a little bit of this. Hey, we imploded, but now we're going to skim along the treetops. We imploded, now we're going to skim along the treetops. Let's table GE for next week. But the answer is, if I wasn't in a Jan 20 something on GE, I'd do synthetic stock at the I take my glasses off. That's stupid. At the let me get rid of the front month. What's the closest strike to? I do the 15s, guys. I do synthetic stock at the 15 strike. Okay, and again, this is what's cool about Top Gun Options is I focus a lot of these in these events on the trades, and then if you go, hey Wiz, I'm new or I don't know what synthetic stock is, I'm going to point you in the direction of what? The Full Throttle archives, right? You can right now, when you become a member, guys, you can go, hey man, and go to the member content, go to Full Throttle, and watch the last Full Throttle brief. What was it, back in September, October, whenever we did that launch, folks? There you go. Right here, Full Throttle November. Full Throttle session, 7 long call diagonals in synthetic stock. So when people ask me in a brief like, can you cover synthetic stock in great detail? I'm going to go, no, I'm going to put the trade on, but you need to go watch Full Throttle session here, 7, and get smart on it, okay? Because in the old days, I'd sit here for an hour and go over synthetic stock until I realized that why don't I do that after the market closes and take up more time in the live trade briefs with just that, live trade trading. All right. Let's move on to Raytheon, guys. This is another gift that keeps on giving, man. And right here, we didn't get into Raytheon right there. We got into Raytheon right here, a Jan 20 long call diagonal. Absolutely incredible trade. Now, again, I'm not going to tell you I got in right here. I can tell you exactly when we get in, and you can watch in the replays. Look at and we've done 1, 2, 3, 4 bull put spreads on Raytheon that have all closed for earnings. They had earnings today for maximum profit. Isn't this awesome? So yay, Raytheon. Yeah, everybody's starting to, all my members in the chat box, folks, this is printing money. Isn't this incredible? Look at that run in Raytheon. And before anybody asks, Wiz, is it too late to get in Raytheon? It's perfect. Look at this. Look at the 2-year chart of Raytheon. Ladies and gentlemen, or let's do 5-year. If a defense stock can go up this much under Barack Hussein Obama, and what the hell's the sequestration? The Air Force Foreign Services Department last month reported a 206% increase in foreign military sales. Folks, we are open for business. The defense contractors we're out of, I told you, I got an email from a buddy of mine who's on a Hayes Gray and underway on a big boat somewhere. He's like, dude, we're out of ammo. They're trying to rush us as much ammunition as they can, man. Why? And kind of like my JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, gold, silver, bronze ranking. Here's what I do with defense. Raytheon, General Dynamics, and then Lockheed Martin. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't do any of them except Raytheon. Here's why. I sat in this flight suit, or one of them, a lot of these flight suits, I sat behind a Raytheon radar. That's probably why my hair's falling out. For 15 years, guys. All the instruments in a Boeing, in a General Dynamics cruiser that they build, or the Joint Strike Fighter, a lot of Raytheon. Raytheon's the guts, man. So don't go into a Boeing or a General Dynamics, because that's when the Air Force cancels this contract, Boeing tanks, or the Navy cancels this ballistic missile sub, and then General Dynamics tanks. Don't do that. Tamara, I was just going to say Raytheon, and Raytheon. Exactly. This is, guys, it was semi-mixed earnings, but again, we got into this stock, folks, what? We got into this stock at 180-ish. We're up at 201, man. You can't, again, I'm not straining myself to pat myself on the back. This was just it pulled back on the last earnings. I'm like, this is stupid. Get in. And if you look at the run, anytime there's been, that's the most significant pullback I've seen in ages. That was a flash crash. But look at this. Raytheon prints money. Okay. So we haven't put and this is what's going to happen as well. Chuck, Raytheon made 9K since we put on the trade. Hell yes. And again, folks, I hate having to read all this stuff. So there's Tamara. And so you can see some of the comments here. Tamara saying, Raytheon. Northrop Grumman, Glenn, again, for the same reason no. I mean, I do like Northrop Grumman. It's a good stock, but when you overlay all the charts of these defense contractors, the answer is Raytheon. So there's Chuck saying, so folks, again, a full throttle max annual subscription is $29.95. Chuck, with his one Raytheon trade, is up $9,000. And again, folks, I can't, I'm dragging you to water. I can't make you drink. So we're going to actually look to add another front month. We've been, ever since we put on Raytheon here, look at the trend line. We put on bull right here. Oops, sorry. Damn it. We've put on bull put spreads this whole ride up right underneath this trend line. So we're going to do another one on Raytheon here. I love this trade. Mark, Raytheon long call diagonal put on November 15th is up 32%. Well done, Mark. Greg, I got in about 2 weeks late and my Raytheon is up 36%. All right, let me show. So whoever is asking for percentage returns, let me show you these comments right here. So everybody look at these comments. And again, these are all current members, guys. If you're not a member yet, you're getting the eavesdrop on what my current members are doing. Look at this. Greg just said got in 2 weeks late, and he's up 36%. Mark Anderson, Raytheon long call diagonal, put on November 15th, right where we said it was. Hey, buddy. And then he's up 32%. So these guys, Mark and Greg, flying formation, they got into the trade around the same time. Okay, folks, I'm going to teach you how to do all of this stuff. Again, I'm moving a little bit because this entire week, my marketing people are like, you give away way too much free content, guys. Mark, did you enter these trades with options or buy shares? Mark, I haven't bought a share of stock since I was a lieutenant junior grade in Kingsville, Texas. Why? No, all we do here, guys, is trade options. Why would you buy this Raytheon stock at $180? We created synthetic stock, or actually we did a long call diagonal, man, and we're printing money. Don't ever, Mark, get a full throttle slot, please, because you need to be on board here. Don't ever buy another share of oh, look at Kevin, guys. Look at Kevin. I was wondering what your Raytheon. Look at this. Here's Kevin. Kevin's one of our lifetime members. Synthetic stock. He did synthetic stock at the 190 right there, guys. See this? He is up 750%. So Greg and the other guys that are up like 30, 32%, they did the long call diagonal. Kevin did synthetic stock. So there's a little bit of a, let me answer your question. Wiz, what's the difference between synthetic stock and a long call diagonal? I'm going to tell you that during training, but let me, numbers, folks. Synthetic stock is like me going to the gym here in a little bit and jumping on the treadmill immediately at 10 miles an hour and jogging and paying for the right to do that. The long call diagonal is like me on the treadmill at 2 miles an hour, then 4, then maybe 6, and then eventually getting up and printing money. Okay, so that's the main difference between these. All right. So again, I'm just sharing with these testimonials as they're coming into the chat box here. A lifetime membership CB is $15,000. It's $15,000. If you're interested in a lifetime membership, you can give us a call and we'll hook you up with that. So let's get tactical here and put on a new Raytheon trade, guys. I love this 195 level and the 190. So let's go out now. Here's again, we always take a look at the potential pullback here. I'm going to go out to mid-Feb. Let's see what the 190. I'm not doing 2. Let's see what the 195, 190 is pricing at, folks. Let me see how many contracts I can do. Just give me 1 second here, because Raytheon, we might be moving the market again. It's climbing as I'm talking about it. We did that yesterday, man. Oh, that's a really high probability trade. You know what? And I'm going to tell you, folks, this is going to be a little bit aggressive, but for all my members, what did we do a couple times on Raytheon with these bull put spreads here, here, and here? I did them right at the money, didn't I? Does anybody remember this? Eddie, not trained or qualified to be in the weeds with my hair on fire and fangs in the dirt turning and burning, so going defensive. Eddie, that's a great, I can tell, first of all, you know your lingo, and second of all, you're a smart man because, hey, Wiz, I'm going to start defensive, and then, you know, after a couple months, bro, just give us a call, and you can upgrade into offensive or a full throttle max, and we'll honor that whatever. I don't think there's going to be a price increase, but Eddie, very well put, my friend. Raytheon after the close. Now, no, guys, hold on. And it's not, I wouldn't wait for after. Earnings already came out, JW. So let me, wow, Lisa, thank you for this. Let me grab this one, guys. Everybody look at this one. That is thank you, Lisa. So I'm going to save this. You guys read that as I save this. Desktop, Lisa. I appreciate that, Lisa. So Lisa just sent this. Lisa, I traded actively and invested about 5 years before TGO was barely profitable and was about to quit. TGO methods turned my trading completely around. Very, very successful last year, and this year starting out already accounts up and very profitable. Membership in TGO will continue to play. Thank you, man. Sweet. All right, let's get on a bull put spread here, and I'm actually going to go a little bit more aggressive because I think it just. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa gets TGO golf balls. There you go. Yeah, earnings already came out, guys. I don't know who said after the close. They already came out, and they were mixed. But in this market, I'm looking at Donald Trump on TV, man. The defense stocks are going to print money. So I like this 195 ledge right here, but we might go a little bit more aggressive and do the 200 195s. Now, this trade, during the life of this trade, might lose money. It might be on the losing. We might have to do 15 contracts. Okay, that's in the ballpark. So listen to me, guys. This ain't. I will tell you that out of the 4 front month bull put spreads we put on, 2 of them were like this. We put them right on at the money. And I said, what? Look at this climb path here, guys. This is called a trend line. I'm no super Wile E. Coyote genius with charting. Guys, that ain't me. I'm not a CMT, a certified market technician. I think that crap's like, we used to burn witches too. Chartology is creepy to me as an options trader. I get it, double top, T and cup handle with a reverse bear pennant, whatever. But this is a trend line, folks. When we got into our long call diagonal buy here, we put on bull put spreads there, and up here. I'm going to do one. You see this ledge? Raytheon did what most stocks would do before earnings. They usually level off, and then I'm not even going to say it was mixed. They also, again, folks, every S&P 500 company that I've looked at expects a 8 to 12%. Some people are saying a 15% increase to their bottom line because of the Trump. If you want to call it Obamacare, let's call this what it is: the Trump tax reform plan. Okay. So, there you go. I'm sorry, man. So here's the trend lines, guys. So this is what I was saying. You can't fight the trend, right? You have to trade the market you have, not the one you want. Sorry about that, guys. So here's the trend line in Raytheon I was talking about. So this is going to be a little bit more aggressive trade, guys. So I'm going to sell 15 of the regular February expiration. Why? Well, Raytheon doesn't have weekly options, guys. Look right here. They have February, March, May. They have the front months, and then they have leaps. So there are no weekly options. So we got to go out, about a month to the regular February expiration. And again, my job is to, if you're not creeped out a little bit, like, oh my God, I could get killed in this trade or I could get killed on this mission, you're doing it wrong. If I ever walked out on the flight deck of the Abraham Lincoln or the Kitty Hawk and said, you know what, I am the cat's ass, man, that's the day I was going to get killed. So here's what could happen with this trade. What did I just tell you about? And I'm probably going to save the volatility trade for my urgent alert, or maybe I'll do it tomorrow in the closing session because I wanted to get this Raytheon on. So here's what could happen. Wiz, you just told me, you just freaked me the hell out last night and today about what? A potential February government shutdown. That could impact this trade. So we always look at potential threats. Do not put this trade on and then halfway through the life of this trade, Raytheon's down here at like 196 and you're going ape shit. I'm telling you right now, during the life of the trade. Okay, remember, this is February, the middle of February is when this trade expires. If we're trading below, if we're, quote, losing a little bit of money on this trade, first of all, you don't lose money until when? You close the damn trade. Just like a profit ain't a profit until you close it. Okay? So let's cover this trade because we got to get going. So, Tim, thank you for saying that. I was going to cover, I was looking at the 195, so I didn't look at the 200. A lot of open interest. Yeah, you're right. Look at that. Look at this. So Tim, nice job, Tim. Tim's saying, hey, Wiz, and by the way, at the 200 strike, I guarantee, we don't know if this is bought or sold or bullish or bearish. I'm guaranteeing you this is probably about 90% bullish call flow in out to Feb. So very, very good pickup there, Tim. Very well done. So this all fits into my commit criteria, which I just kind of mumbled through for about 10 minutes, which is way too long to be doing my commit criteria. But I just wanted to, as part of my commit criteria, I usually don't try to scare the hell out of you, but that's my job, man. During the life of this trade, it could potentially be losing money. Let me grab a screenshot of this so I can send it out in the replay. If File, save as, RTN, 125. You guys have seen the replays all week, the email that comes out. You know you don't have to be in here. So I'm going to sell the Feb 18 200 puts. That's me saying, hey, by February expiration, I don't think Raytheon's trading below 200. Wiz, you're wrong. Government shuts down. Raytheon loses a bunch of defense contracts. You suck. Well, I will, but we're long below 195 by buying these puts. So again, this tactic is called I'm bullish on Raytheon. I'm using puts, and it's a spread. This is called a bull put spread. What's it also called? A credit spread, because we're potentially bringing in a credit of $1.48. Now, the market's moved a little bit since I've been talking, so let me click on mid-market here. All right, and it's already 8 times 15. That's how I was talking. Raytheon's going up. So let's get moving here. Let me click on analyze, and the first place your eyes should go every time for the rest of your life, even if you're not here at TGO, was right there, Mr. Sad or Mrs. Sad. Our max potential loss in this trade is right in line with my SOP of about $5 grand, $5,400. Well, that would suck, Wiz, but I'm okay with that risk. Now we can raise our eyes up and go, all right, the max potential profit in this trade is $2,100, and there's using current at the money vol, historical versus implied vol, there's a 60% probability of it of making a max profit. And there's what? Let's look down here. There's at least a 67% probability of at least breaking even or making some scratch. We make money 3 ways on this trade, folks. There's Raytheon. Raytheon can go up. Raytheon can kind of hang out where it is. Remember, unched on the day equals time decay. If we are unchanged on the day, we open up your pocket and watch a dollar bill float in there, you get time decay. And Raytheon can even go down a little bit as long as it stays above right there, our break even. So again, whoever asked about buying stocks earlier, folks, you make money 3 ways buying Raytheon shares. You buy, you hope, and you pray. That ain't us as options traders. We make money, no kidding, 3 ways. It goes up, it stays where it is, and it can even go down a little bit. Okay, so bull, put, spread. All right, let me grab a screenshot of this, and then we're going to send out a text alert, and I'll talk briefly about the adjust and eject levels. And this one we could potentially adjust because there's no earnings after it and all that good stuff. Raytheon 125 metric. Okay. And then I will blast this out to both lists. Peter's filled at $1.44. So let me grab this. And I'd go plus or minus 5 cents, guys. I'd go down to $1.35 and then all the way up to $1.45. Glenn's filled at $1.45. Let's get to our broadcaster here. Not there, not there. Let me pull it up. So again, as I've preached all week, folks, you don't have to be in the live trade briefs. You're going to get this trade sitting in death by meeting at work when everybody else does. So let's do this. So I write the portfolio that it's in. AYT and D. That's the analyze your trade and debrief. New RTN bull put spread. How many contracts? Wiz is looking to do 15 based on his $100,000 model portfolio. When's the expiration? The normal Feb 18. I'm going to sell the 200 puts, and I'm going to buy the 195 puts at $1.40 credit, right? It's a credit spread, and I'm going to say plus or minus 5 cents, plus or minus 5 cents. And again, we want that full $1.40, folks. We want that $1.40 to go to zero. We want all of it in our pocket, $1.40. We want it to, quote, expire worthless. If all of a sudden Raytheon starts going down and this trade goes up in value to $1.50, $2, that's when we need to start scratching our chin and go, why is Raytheon pulling back, and should we, quote, adjust it? So the price I would look to potentially adjust this trade is about $2.40. And then my eject level, folks, to get out of a trade, holy crap, I'm on fire. I'm not even going to wonder what's going on with Raytheon. It's imploding. I don't want to take that max $5 grand loss. It's called the eject level. Let's eject out of this trade. I double the credit that I took in. Why? That's my rule of thumb, folks. Kind of like the $5,000. I double the credit that I take in, and that's a good rule of thumb to potentially just get out of the trade. Okay. Mary Beth, no, this is a good standalone trade, but Mary Beth, you're on to something there, because I will tell you that I've told my members you should only be trading front month spreads, January, February, March, on positions you have out to Jan 19 or Jan 20. It makes portfolio management a lot easier. You shouldn't be like throwing a couple random Tesla trades out there like I've done recently and they blow up in your face. Why? I'm not long-term anything on Tesla. Well, if anything, I'm long-term bearish. They might not even be around in a couple years. They could be Fisker. It's DeLorean, in my opinion. The point being, that's a great question, Mary Beth, is you should only be trading these front month spreads if you got a good long out to Jan 19 or Jan 20. Why? Because if you have a strategic mindset all the way that far out in time, then you definitely have a front month mindset as well. But Mary Beth, this is a good standalone trade if you're not in a Jan 20. So after saying all of that, I'm going to say promo full throttle launch registrations. All right, so if you gave us your cell phone number on this page when you opted in to our full week of live trading and training, you're about to get a text alert. Please don't throw your cell phone number in there now. I can't add it after the fact. You should have believed this at the beginning. So I'm going to blast that out to everybody, and I'm going to show you. John, the adjust level, and there's the text, guys. See, I got it within 2 seconds. There's the text right on my phone. So delete. So the text message is working. Okay, and everybody's getting them. Can you please repeat the eject level? No, John, the eject level in a spread for Wiz is double the credit that I take in, okay? If I take in, let's just round up here. If I take in a credit of $1.50, folks, everybody look right here. I want this full $1.50 in my pocket, guys. I want it to go down to $1.40, $1.30, $1, and then by Feb 18, the middle of February, I want this to be at zero, meaning we earned the full $1.50. If this trade starts going up in value, that's not a good thing. It's a misnomer to say, hey, if this is going up in value. If this is going up to $2, $2.10, $2.30, that means Raytheon is doing what? That means Raytheon's going down. So my rule of thumb, guys, is I double the credit that I take in. That's my eject point, usually. Do I fly past the eject point? Yes. So listen to me, guys. At the front of every Navy flight manual is and it's this thick, right? Everything you can't do, all sorts of stuff. Every Navy flight manual, the first page has a paragraph that says something like this. Nothing in this manual can take the place of good headwork and judgment of the pilot in command. Meaning, here's the translation. You can blow off some of these eject or, emergency procedures, but you better have a damn good reason. And if it doesn't work out for you, you better be dead, because we're going to pull your wings and throw you out of the Navy. So do I fly past my adjust and eject point sometimes? Yeah. The only time I will ever fly past my adjust and eject point is if my strategic mindset and my commit criteria for this trade are still really, really, really sound. Here's an example. Chuck Schumer looks like he's going to shut down the government. Nothing big happened with Raytheon. And folks, I don't think the government's going to be shut down for all of February. So we might see a little bit of a pullback and go up here. So during the life of this trade, could this trade around my eject point? Yeah, but I'm so confident in Raytheon that I most likely wouldn't adjust it. But again, like I said yesterday, folks, I can't make that decision now in the brief. I can tell you a couple things. We might roll it down, we might roll it out, we might do both, roll it down and out, but not until I know why Raytheon starts coming down. If that's when I'll send out a text and go, hey man, here's what I'm going to do. I'm looking to roll this trade down or out or anything like that. Does that make sense? Okay. Brian, very few people are impacted, and all contract will be funded till the second quarter. I know, Brian. It's just the theatrics of it, right? The theatrics of a government shutdown is what worries me about the market potentially pulling back. Virginia, I answered that earlier. Is it too late to put on a Jan 20 in Raytheon? The answer is no. Virginia, look at this. Look at the. I know, looking at the left side of the chart is like driving around the Indy 500, looking in your rear view mirror. But Virginia, here's my point. If this stock, let's look at the 5-year chart. If this stock, it kind of leveled under Obama and then kind of took off. If this stock can have a rip your face off rally under a Democratic president who was kind of leery to use the military, what do you think it's going to do under Donald Trump, man? I told you that my buddy sent me an email. He's like, Wiz, we're out of bombs, man. They're rushing ammo ships to the Gulf and other places because we don't. And let's just say that there's maybe a lot of ammo in the Pacific waiting for potential use. So Raytheon, so Virginia, to answer your question, yeah. Or no, it's not too late. Yeah, I like it. Exactly, Harry. Raytheon caught a bid under Obama. Okay. Leanne, not receiving text messages. And folks, for some reason, some of my members, I think it's our Canucks, our Canadians, some Canadian cell phone companies. Folks, I have buddies who get text messages from me in Afghanistan. So we're broadcasting. So Leanne, if I don't recognize your name, I don't know if you remember, but you see this drop down having SMS issues? Thank you for saying that. Analyze your trade and debrief. Let me use this one. New Raytheon, RTN bull put thread. So for people that this email, this is an email. This takes the same exact time as a text. So we have a handful of people who still haven't called their Canadian telecom company because our SMS comes from like a 5-digit number. And I had to do this. I own the damn company. I had to call T-Mobile and go, because I stopped getting my own text messages. They're like, that's a spam number. I'm like, I'm the damn company. It's not spam. Make it safe. So, does that make sense? So thank you for asking that. Leanne, if you're a member, okay, if you're a member, just shoot a ticket to support at Top Gun Options, Leanne, and we'll get you hooked up. Eric, Canadian, that explains why I don't get the messages. So Leanne, if you are one of our having SMS issue folks, you'll get instead of a text alert, you get an email that looks like this, and it comes in 2 seconds. I've timed it. For a month there, I just went to full emails, but people complained and I went back to text. But so look at your email right now, or Leanne, you might not be on our problem child list yet, right here, having SMS issues. So, but like I said, we have members in Macau. We got Graham down in Australia. We have people all over the globe. We have 37 countries here at TGO. So, we should be good to go. All right, guys. I went over by 7 minutes here. Jim, Wells Fargo has raised its price target for Raytheon to 215 from 202 while retaining its outperform rating. Thanks you for that, Jim. I love that. Awesome. Let me read some of these other ones too. Real quick, yeah, whoever asked, somebody was waiting, I guess, to see this session to get their full throttle slot. So folks, I think we're probably maybe down to about 15 annual memberships left. Like I said, if we fill them all by tomorrow, we won't open any monthlies. If we don't, there might be a handful of monthlies. But folks, I've shown you throughout this week, the one bad trade I've had in the past month was an Amazon bull put spread weekly last week. I've showed you that we have more than made up. We're just alone this week in closed and open trades. I mean, folks, the one-day Amazon trade, I paid for a full throttle annual defensive slot just with the Amazon weekly bull put spread. So grab your slot, guys, like I said, and please don't. I'm not going to mention any names. Don't be the person who emails us on Monday and says, hey, I know you got your 50 slots. Can I be 51? The answer is no. I am a straight shooter, guys. We only open 50 slots because I'm telling you right now as I'm talking, there's great questions flying by and I'm ignoring them because there's literally hundreds upon hundreds of people in here. We don't do that. we take 50 new members, and then maybe in about 3, 4, 5 months, we might do another full throttle and open it a little bit more. We have a nice, tight, close-knit training squadron. And like I said, in between the live trade briefs, you can get on our you can go in the Ready Room, folks. It's called the Ready Room, Top Gun Options. And you can ask questions of me, your fellow traders, or your fellow members. Hey, I'm thinking about putting this trade on. Can you guys red team it and rip it apart? So that's called the Ready Room, folks. And that's worth its weight in gold right there. In between live trade briefs, hey, Wiz, I was working. I didn't, see you put on this Raytheon trade. I have a couple questions about it. Throw them right in here, guys. This is the interactive forum. This isn't even listed on the on the page here as a benefit, and that's kind of stupid because that's a huge benefit. Okay, and then here's obviously all the classes we're going to do once we get airborne. So if you don't know, I'm most likely going to do the bullish double vertical tomorrow, man. Maybe in lieu of the weekly options brief, because we got to get long volatility. I wanted to get long Raytheon with the good earnings, and I'm glad to see that already today that some houses are already upgrading Raytheon. So that's great. Did the stock catch a bid on that? Or if that was recent, maybe a little bit of a bid right there. But nice earnings, and then we settled down. So now we're going to consolidate, and I think then we're going to head higher. So, all right, guys, listen to me. I went over. You're welcome. I went over. Let me read some of these. Remind new members to read your teaching manuals. Very good. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, folks, when you join, download. You're going to. Here's your. Somebody asked last night, is there good reading? I'm like, yeah, it's right here. There's your reading right there. Thanks, Tamara. I need to get going here in a little bit because it is Keely's birthday and she's going to be coming home from school soon. So, CP, is there replay review option classes for members? Folks, everything's posted on. I just showed you what our member pages look like, guys. This is what. So in a couple minutes, when I end this webinar, I'm going to drink the rest of my coffee. I'm going to wait for the recording to get rendered, and then I'm going to post that recording on this Analyze Your Trade. Here's last week's, guys. This is what today's post is going to look like when I type it up. I'm going to have the screenshots of Raytheon in here, and down here is going to be the replay of me talking right now. So yes, everything's recorded, guys. If you're not a member, unfortunately, that's not good, but you can watch all the replays here. All the replays from everything we've done this week are on this page right here. So let me throw this on here, okay? Exactly, CP. Please ask him to be CP2. His is CB, Charlie Bravo Blatt. And then we got CP Wallace, okay? Raytheon up 5% already. Harry got filled on his trade, and Harry's already up 5% on his Raytheon trade that he just put on. Isn't that awesome? Yep, Edmund, thank you. I appreciate that. Family first. So is there one site for members to see all the open? Yes, folks, when you become a member, you can see all of the open positions. I've been showing you all the member pages all week, guys. So absolutely. So again, if we get to 50 annual memberships before tomorrow, we're done. We're going to get airborne without you. If we don't, which I don't know, man, we're going at a pretty good clip. Steve, I upgraded from Options Weapon School to Max Afterburner. Congrats, Steve. Yeah, if you're a current Options Weapon School, folks, you can always upgrade. Just call support. There's a Max May Romkey from West Palm Beach. May, you are right up the street, man. Let's grab a glass of wine or something like that. I love having South Florida members because we can hang out together. So welcome aboard. That's a full throttle annual, and we're good to go. Okay, so all right. So I got to get going, guys. Again, family first. I'll get the replay posted on this page. I'll send out the email with the screenshot of the trades, and then tomorrow's it, guys. Full week of live trading and training was on me. It's free. In the old days, we used to charge like $400 for this week. And then my marketing team said, no, make it free. So hopefully you're seeing that you got a lot of return on your investment. So if you haven't bought, even if you just became a member, make sure you attend tomorrow's live trade brief at 1 o'clock. Okay, you're welcome, Christine. Oh, thanks, Harry. I appreciate the cigars. Thanks, Tim. I will wish her a happy birthday. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go to work, do some more trading, wait for my daughter to get home, and hang out with the family. And then tomorrow, that's it, guys. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to get airborne with or without you. So hopefully you make the decision. Like I've been showing you these testimonials throughout the week, folks. Invest in yourself, man. This is an investment in you. How many testimonials did I show you where people are like livid that they didn't know about TGO years ago, or $5,000 and $10,000 after giving it to some snake oil salesman? Man, this is me. I'm in my flight suit literally. It was a career day, but you're going to get honesty and right between the eyes all the time from me. Okay, keep printing money. I will, Harry. All right, guys. God bless, and I'll see many of you tomorrow. And welcome aboard to all of our new Full Throttle members. If we got 50 by tomorrow, we're airborne with our annual members. If not, I'll maybe open a couple month-to-month subscriptions. Okay, you're welcome, Werner. Have a great day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. And I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you.